table 1, just one person to stand up, and so it shall be on all the other tables. Hello? Hello? Table 1, who would like to stand up there? Sister Katiki? Or you chose Joel? Okay, can we have the microphones, please?
I'll just say general comments. What I learned is to pursue wisdom with our finances, and to have to look forwards and not have a short-term thinking about our finances. In short, that's what I've learned.
Okay.
And with that, you have to do things like investing your money so that it bears interest for your future and things like that.
Okay. Let me have 2 people on this table. There is Brother Joel. Let me have another person on that table. On the spot, Katiki, I was calling your name. Oh, prophetess.
What was the question again, prophetess?
You're the one who was preaching, Katiki. Remember, at fasting in January, we are repeating what you said. All right.
Yeah.
The question is up to the point where we are at. What have you learned as an individual? Or, okay, just so that we get some feedback.
Sowing a seed. Sowing a seed. I'm coming back to that again. Sowing a seed.
Coming back to sowing a seed.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next table, please. What have you learned? The question is, what have you learned up to this point?
Okay, what I've learned is it's important for a person to have a vision for what they will use the money for, and also to have priorities, because when you don't have priorities, when the money comes, you just spend it on unnecessary things.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Oh, I've learned a lot. To try to be debt-free first.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, to be focused, more focused, and to concentrate more, yeah.
Wonderful. Next. Quickly, 2 on that table. 2 on that table. No, don't poke at Sister Priscilla. She's been representing that table the whole afternoon. Is there nobody else on the table? Come.
To be obedient, even if it is painful. You know, obedience brings discipline, and that's what I'm taking away from here.
I've learned that you had to plan in advance. I've learned that we had to sow a seed. I've learned that we had to have freedom, financial. I've learned that the most important for me was the financial blockage to get your financial blessing. And the things that I've wrote down, I was really honest to myself. I will work on it.
I've learned that we need to become debt-free. And then I've also learned that God does not like it when we live in poverty, so we need to strive towards that.
I learned that we have to be aware. That's number 1, being aware of where you want to go. That's in being a visionary. And number 2, being aware of the things that are hindering your progress, the things that are taking away your money, and yeah.
One thing that I really learned is just about saving money at a young age, because I really didn't think this conference was really going to impact me much, because I was like, no, my father's the one who handles my debts, my father's the one who does everything, so what's this going to teach me? And it was just the one question about financial security in terms of like life and death policies and stuff, and I didn't even give any thought into it. And I've learned that as I am now, it's important that even if it's just opening a student's account and putting in money, that could be an investment into something like, for example, if my parents go ill or something, then I have something to fall back on. So I've learned to, you know, put my money in order, and also to make sure that I have no debts in case my parents die. I don't think I'll be able to handle that.
Bring one to talk and finish it.
Okay, I learned that you can't really plan or like have a budget with money that you don't have. So you must first get the money, and then, because as young people, we always think, oh, when I get the money, I'll buy this and I'll buy that and I'll buy this. So you should first get the money in order to be able to buy.
Okay. Yeah, give Secret and Dawn, yes.
Okay, I've learned that it's really important for us to pay the receiver of revenue, especially on the business
Put
part.
volume there, persistent.
Especially on the business part, we are told in the house that no, you should tithe. So we do our tithes, but then we rob the receiver of revenue on the other side, because you give in your invoice, you claim your tax of 15%, but you never go and pay it. So that can also block your blessings.
Indeed, it does. Yes. Amen. No, you are going to speak. Yes.
I'm sorry. One thing I've learned, and that's very important for me, is the principle of Joseph that says, make saving a lifestyle, which most of us don't do. So that is one very important thing to go home with.
Amen. Sister Dawn, and I thank you.
I've learned about, I'm someone that don't live by a budget, and I've seen it's very important now to live by a budget. And the one thing that I've learned is to start with my dream immediately, because I'm stopping a lot of things in my life. And another thing is that I see there some lacks in my life that stop my blessing from coming faster than it's supposed to be.
Amen. Right. Let's continue very quickly. Ways to prevent getting into further debt. Leave your credit cards and account cards at home. In fact, cut them up into pieces so you don't use them. Allocate 20% of your income towards your debt. Your debt does not include your rent, telephone, taxi money, domestic help expenses. Your debt here is your clothing, shop accounts, chemists, nails, and hair extensions. When your debt is paid, then add this extra money to your savings and buy for cash. Cut out all the extras, the cake you buy at work on account, the person selling you earrings you don't need, the hamburgers and the cokes. Cut out all the extras. Besides it being healthy, you'll be saving some money. Retail therapy is just skin deep. There's nothing therapeutic about having to suffer to pay for clothes that you did not really need. Number 5, check your bank charges. Always check if you are using checks as a form of payment that your account is balanced properly. That issued check might not have been presented and paid. You might have put in a check. It's taken 2 to 3 days to come into your account. You don't check your account. You just see that you got 3,000. You draw out that money. That check comes, it bounces, and it spoils your name. So you should check. Number 6, once you are financially on a sound footing, then you must pay extra into your bond repayments or any other loan at your bank for that matter. The sooner you pay your debt off, the more you save on interest charges. So, Instead of saying, I've got this extra, my car is paid up, take that repayment for your car and pay it towards your loan account. Pay it somewhere. Don't look at things you don't have. Focus on what you do have. One of the things that we find out in this life is always we never have enough. No, I must have the latest TV. I must have a better, the biggest microwave. A 25 liter was always okay. Now I must get a 45 liter, but the plates remain the same size. We always want to look at things we don't have. Focus on what you do have. Number 8, plan for the future. Don't do things haphazardly. Don't be an impulsive spender. Do you know you get impulsive spenders? Huh? You spend impulsively. You don't think it through. Doesn't make sense. You just spend. Yes, plan for the future. Strategic plans are not only for companies and organizations. Do yourself a plan for the next 5 years. And I think, Frida, we discussed that some time ago. Can you come here? I want to talk to you. Yeah. You still working on this plan? Yes, we did this in 2009, I think it was. Do yourself a plan for the next 5 years. If I ask you this afternoon, Sister Christine, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Immediately you should have an answer. Vandu, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Let me think. Spain or Brazil, I'm not sure. In 5 years' time, where do I want to? Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? Address things like your marital status. In 5 years' time, married. What about your job? I don't want to be working anymore. I want to have my own business. So how do I go from being a worker to a business owner? My family. Do you want to have children immediately after you are married like John and Stacy? Pastor Stanton and Fadia? Don't say no, Perry. Consider your age, Michael. Do you want to have children immediately after you are married? Those are the things you put in your 5-year plan. I am having my baby and I'm waiting for 18 months and my wife will be pregnant again. So the baby will be 2 years and 6 months and we'll have our second child. Why are you smiling at me there, Fanny? Do you want to go abroad, whether on holiday or for further studies? You must still plan. I want to go and study overseas. You might want to study in the UK, but universities in London are very expensive. Whereas you can go to the University of Liverpool, it's much cheaper and it's miles out of London. Accommodation is cheaper, this is cheaper, that is cheaper. Do you want to go on holiday? If you do, when do you want to go on holiday? Can you put a date? I want to go to the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben. You know what I've discovered? Let me tell you something I've discovered. I've discovered that there are travel companies which actually have specials. So they can say if you travel between June the 10th and June the 30th, for them it might be an off-season. They say, including your tickets from OR Tambo to Paris, London, they give you about Denmark, Holland, they give you 3 or 4 overseas destinations for 14,000. Do you know those? Yeah. How come we are not taking advantage of it? Excuse me? Hello? How come we are not taking advantage of it? What do you mean you didn't know? Listen to what I'm saying, beloved people. If you want to go on abroad, plan. Go online. Find out. If you want to do further studies, do the same. Do you want to own your own transport, like having your own vehicle? All the above requires us to have a plan and to work around our plan, giving ourselves times and periods by which to achieve what we want to do. Be realistic. Don't write a plan you have no intention of keeping this afternoon. I'm going to save $2,000. You have no intention of keeping it. The same old recipe, my dear friends, will bring you the same old result as those who are baking cakes here this afternoon. The same recipe brings the same results. If you want to buy a car, get your driver's license. If you want to travel abroad, make sure you have a passport and have made an inquiry as to how much the ticket will cost. Furthermore, you need to find out, do you need a visa to visit that place? This way you are able to plan so that you have to save so much toward your travel and accommodation, etc. If you want to get married, set a date, do a budget. This way you are able to plan. I want to get married in 2017. Do I want 20 people or 100 people at my wedding, or no people at all? Huh? No people. Perry doesn't want any people. She has said this to me about 100 times. Just on Wednesday, she was telling me that I'll be crying and she'll just be standing with her husband already. They'll be married in my office. Huh? How? She will just be married without telling anybody. Right. Listen to me. If you want to get married, set a date, do a budget. This way you are able to plan. If you want to study further abroad, check the universities available, how much your degree will cost. Are there scholarships available? Do you qualify with grade 12 or grade 10 or whatever grade? If you're unable to go abroad, don't throw out your dream. Check local universities. They might not be as good in your eyes, but they might suit your pocket and enable you to start your program without wasting time. John went to the UK with Clarence. They were there for 6 months and it was like, you know what, this is not for me. John came back, came with us to Namibia, went to UNAM, did his 2 degrees there, Bachelor of Jurisprudence, his LLB honors. Worked hard, it's your heart. It's the way you think. If you start with this, the universities in Namibia, they are like this, they're like that, you are wasting time. It depends upon you. Those same qualifications that he got here at UNAM with Stacy got him a scholarship there at the University of Northwest in Potchefstroom, where he did his master's. Instead of taking 2 years, him and Stacy did their master's in a year. And on top of it, that scholarship would have allowed them to be there for 2 years. You know, if you're looking for money, you just drag out the degree. But they did that scholarship, they did that LLB honors, the master's in 1 year, and then started with the PhD. So don't say, I can't go to UNAM, I must go to University of Oxford, or I must go to Oxford, Harvard, or wherever. If you got the money, you can. But if you have a dream to get a university degree, go where you can. They might not be as good in your eyes, but they might suit your pocket and enable you to start your program without wasting time. You might have to do a year or 2 years at the local university, but it gives you time to look and work at going to the university of your dreams. So stop having this idea, I want to buy a Mercedes-Benz, when all you need is a little spark. For now. Hello? The Mercedes-Benz will come. That is your dream. But what you need now is a car to get you from A to B. It also wants you to be taught how to look after a car. You know, there's a difference between the service of a Mercedes-Benz and the service of a Spark. The service of a Spark you might even be able to do at home. But with a Benz, please don't try. Open the gate. In closing, follow your dreams, For if you don't, your life will become a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Reach for the moon, for even then, if you don't make it, you will still be among the stars. Dare to dream and to make your own path. Follow not in the path of others, but be a trailblazer who will leave a path for others to follow. Be a trailblazer. Right. I very quickly want to read through ideals if you want to be a millionaire for Jesus. But right now, what I want us to do, because it's tea break. I think it's even past tea break. Let's go quickly and check. It's 4 o'clock. Oh my goodness me. All right. Your tea break ended 15 minutes ago. All right. What I'm asking you to do is please go to the back, get a cupcake or whatever, get a glass of juice and come back and let's sit down. Okay? Is that okay? Right. Let's do that very quickly.